Let's get right into it. Number 7. The stairs that move wrong. Picture this. You step onto an escalator, brain in autopilot, phone in hand. But halfway up, your foot hesitates just for a second, and suddenly you're wobbling like you've never walked before. That's not just clumsiness. It's your brain reacting to a design flaw older than disco. Escalators move at a steady speed, but the moment they stop or jerk even slightly, your brain's motion prediction system crashes. Normally, your cerebellum runs a perfect simulation of how your body will move, but when an escalator's speed changes, or you're stepping on one you think is moving but isn't, your brain keeps sending keep walking commands while reality says no. The result, you look like a newborn giraffe in public. Here's the weird part. Engineers know this, but fixing it would require sensors, variable speed ramps, or gasp, reminding humans to pay attention. So instead, we all just keep playing. Public balance roulette at the mall. At least it's free entertainment for security cameras. Number 6. The false safety zone. You know that flat metal plate at the top of the escalator? It's supposed to feel like the safe, solid ground you've been craving for 30 seconds. Except it's not really safe. It's where 80% of escalator accidents happen. Why? Because your brain celebrates too early. Researchers call it the completion effect. The moment we think a task is over, our focus drops. Add in a moving handrail that's still sliding forward as your feet stop, and boom, your upper body keeps going while your legs freeze. It's basically a slow-motion pratfall built into the design. Here's the kicker. That handrail is intentionally moving slightly faster than the steps, so your hand doesn't get pulled back. Great in theory, until your center of gravity gets yanked forward right as you step off. The design saves fingers, but sacrifices dignity. Somewhere, a safety engineer is still debating if that's a fair trade. Number 5. The teeth that bite. Ever notice the yellow comb-like teeth where the escalator steps disappear? They're not just there to look cool, they're meant to catch debris and prevent objects from sliding into the machinery. But here's the unnerving truth. They're also the number 1 snag point for shoelaces, long dresses, and the occasional flip-flop. The mechanical term is entrapment hazard, which sounds like a rejected heavy metal band name. The reason it's so dangerous is all about proximity. Your foot is at its lowest point of stability right as it crosses that plate. If something catches, the machine's force is way stronger than you are. Most modern escalators have emergency stop sensors in those teeth, but older models, let's just say they rely on human scream detection instead. The official safety advice: step high, like you're a royal avoiding puddles. The unofficial advice: don't be the person who sacrifices a shoe to the mall gods. Number 4. The illusion of width. Ever felt like the sides of the escalator are just a little too close for comfort? That's not paranoia, that's deliberate. Narrower step designs reduce the risk of people sitting down or blocking traffic, but they also create what's called spatial squeeze. Your brain reads the side panels and the moving handrail as part of the walking space, which makes you adjust your stance unconsciously. In crowded conditions, this leads to the shoulder bump effect. Your body sways just enough to brush against strangers or the side wall. Not a big deal unless you're holding coffee, a phone, and a fragile sense of balance. Some researchers suggest a wider step would improve safety, but mall owners prefer maximizing escalator count per floor space. Translation: you get more escalators, but each one feels like walking on a moving balance beam. It's a design compromise where comfort quietly loses to cost efficiency. Number 3. The glass side trap. You've probably leaned on the glass side of an escalator at some point. Clear view, nice and smooth. But here's the twist. In certain lighting conditions, that glass becomes an optical hazard. Reflections can make the step edges look misaligned, which subtly messes with your depth perception. Your brain's visual horizon uses edges and contrast to calculate where your feet should land. If the glass bounces sunlight just right, it tricks your eyes into thinking the steps are shifting cue microstumbles and awkward half-steps. Engineers know this and sometimes add decals or frosted strips to break up the reflection, but not all buildings bother. The ironic part, the glass is marketed as modern and safer because you can see through it. Meanwhile, half of US are just using it to check our hair while trying not to trip. Number 2. The moving illusion. Step onto a stationary escalator and your legs suddenly feel like they forgot how to walk. This isn't you being weird, it's your vestibular system, the inner ear balance network getting trolled by your brain's expectations. When you see escalator steps, your brain fires up the movement compensation plan. Lean forward slightly, adjust stride, brace for motion. But if the steps are still, your body executes the motion correction anyway, which throws you off balance. This phenomenon is so well documented it has an actual name in neuroscience, the broken escalator effect. Studies show your brain continues to apply the moving escalator program even after repeated attempts on a stationary one. The evolutionary logic. Your brain's predictive systems favor sticking to habits because recalculating every step from scratch takes more time, which means, yes, you could practice for hours and still look like you're learning to walk every time you encounter a stopped escalator. Number 1. The endless handrail mismatch. You've probably noticed this one. Without realizing it, your hands slowly drifting forward or backward while your body stays put. That's because the handrail is almost never perfectly synced with the steps. Manufacturers intentionally make it move a fraction faster to prevent your arm from getting pulled backward, which is great until it isn't. Over a long ride, that tiny difference builds up. Suddenly, you're leaning forward like you're about to tell the escalator a secret. The real kicker, if your balance relies too much on that rail, the mismatch can subtly pull you off center. Add a crowded mall, a heavy shopping bag, and maybe a kid tugging your other arm, and you've got the perfect conditions for a public stumble. Some engineers argue for speed matching sensors, but they're expensive to maintain. So instead, we keep our centuries-old solution. Just grip harder and hope for the best. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.